Hey everyone, this is Gerald with Overview Development. We are here on the property again. We actually started demo. I arrived a little late. They've already started tearing down the actual structure in the back. Just start off here. If you all can see, this is the reason why a lot of people don't understand that most of the time contractors ask a little more money from, when they're dealing with subs, because a lot of homeowners want you to give them the same price as they get from a regular sub or either some handyman, but you pay the contractor to manage these jobs. As example, you see this dumpster here. Now you see everything that's above the dumpster. You see what this dumpster says here? Can you see that? It says maximum loading level. So why would the subcontractor come here and load it above that? Now, of course, because they're going to pick it up tomorrow, and because we're waiting on them to bring another dumpster, so now I got to try to get somebody up there, or either I got to try to cut it and get it down to the level so we can keep the project going, because they can't be here because we were supposed to start on actual Friday, but they called me on Thursday to tell me that they wasn't going to be able to start. A lot of homeowners don't understand why they have to pay GCs and residential contractors more than what they pay an average sub. But I'm gonna go over and point out a couple of things that the reason why you pay these contractors more to deal with the subs and do these projects is because not only do they have the capabilities of pulling the permits and overseeing the job, make sure it's supposed to be done right, but like when you're dealing with stuff like this, look at this dumpster. Now, I'm out here because we couldn't get a dumpster here today to replace it. I'll go over that in a minute, why we couldn't get a dumpster. But look here, you see that above there? Now, you see this what that says? It says maximum load. And because it says maximum load level, you're not supposed to put stuff above it. So now either I got to do it or I got to get somebody out here to cut that down. More than likely, I'm probably gonna pull out my either circle saw or either my sawzall and just cut it down. But as you can see, why you should have to pay contractors a little more, because they're dealing with these projects. But going on with this, reason why we ended up having to not have another dumpster here, because originally starting out, the sub told me that they were going to be here and start on Friday. Well, they couldn't start Friday. I had scheduled for 2 dumpsters to be here because they're going to pick up one. They would have picked up one and left another. Well, because they ended up saying, well, we could start Saturday. Well, of course, most dumpster companies don't work on the weekends. So since they don't work on the weekends, they couldn't pick up the dumpster. And since I didn't know whether truly they was gonna come on Saturday or not, I'm not gonna order another dumpster. So here we stand, right here. Now there's no one working because they need another dumpster. So, which I understand they can't work without a dumpster, but these are just some of the things that you deal with. Now, as far as me, what I should have done, I should have just had the dumpster company put it on hold, and then I could have canceled it that morning if it was full, if it wasn't full. But I got the call and the text on Saturday, late Saturday, telling me it was full and when could we get another dumpster. So here we are. But right here, as you can see this, what we're doing now, we got to dig the footers. We tore out everything here. As you can see, we tore out the slab. Now this person who had this house, they put this slab was like some covered lanai or some covered patio, and they decided they was going to go ahead and just build a structure on there. So as you can see, there was really not much footers that was placed in there. They had a little trench in there, but they didn't have the actual footers in there. So now we got to dig those out and put the footers in there. And once we get the footers and everything in there, then the plumber has to run the plumbing. But just to go in here, I can show you a little bit of what's been done. So as you can see, they did take off some of the, you can see that some of the actual sheetrock was taken off the wall. These are furring strips on here. So we're pretty much down to some of the studs in there. But like I said, they couldn't finish because of what was going on and because we didn't have a dumpster. But as you can see, I surely hope you can see, it's a little dark in here, not very much light. But we did get a lot torn out. they basically got most of it all off the walls. So I apologize for it being so dark. There's absolutely no lighting hardly in here. So all this here, they got to get up, you got to finish that room back there, and you got to finish that room. But we're moving right along. We'll find out. I should get the dumpster here early tomorrow. I have to find out from my sub if they're going to be able to get back in here early tomorrow morning, because the dumpster may not get here until tomorrow afternoon. Well, they told me, they put me on for early morning, but that's just the things you deal with sometimes when you're dealing with these projects. You plan on things going right, but you have to prepare for things not to go right. So, but here we are at the fire damage house. So we're on the next step. Stay in tune. I'll try to keep you all abreast as to what we have going on, so that you all can stay in contact and see how we get through these different projects. And for some of you contractors out there, I know if you have some of the issues, I'm gonna briefly go over a couple of things that I just had an issue with. I had a contractor that was doing most of my demo. Just so happened my demo guy actually, who was who's gonna be tearing down all the trusses and everything, he actually came and gave me a quote. And I gave him my scope, and he gave me the quote. Well, come to find out, he said, oh, I wrote the wrong number down. Well, meanwhile, my numbers are made off of what he gave me, and me picking him was made off of what he gave me. Well, I do know that his bid that he gave me was pretty low, but he was trying to bid on a lot of the other small things that I had in here, because as a framer, he also does some carpentry work, as far as like, you know, trim work, doors, and all those different things, and also hanging cabinets. So I was gonna let him do some of those. So I figured he was doing this so that he could get the rest of the business. Well, no, he just made a mistake. So I ended up coming back. I gave him a little more money, added a little more onto it. But these are some of the things that I'm talking about that we run into issues with. And I tell you, subs, if you can be a little more precise with your scopes, if you bid and do your bids according to the scopes and look at your numbers when you total and add them up. I had gave him, what I try to do a lot of times, I give people Excel sheets. And in the Excel sheets, I have the itemizing description broke down each level. And I asked them to put a price, and I have it so that it will automatically calculate the total amount at the bottom, so that they can look at it and they can say, okay, yes, doing all this, this is how much money I need to make. Well, I'm finding that a lot of subs don't know how to, they don't do Excel. They don't know how to fill in the Excel. They're not familiar with it. So for all of you out there, if you're interested, I'm gonna put in the description down there. Check out, I decided to come up with some way to try to help not only the subs and other contractors, but also help the homeowners to be able to understand, to where you can basically submit your job with the scopes and send the entire scope, instead of just saying on a lot of times, floor, I'm gonna lay your floor in. Well, you know that there's other parts. There's prep work on the floor, there's laying the floor, there's leveling the floor sometimes. All these different things, you should have them itemized and scoped out. And as homeowners, you should be able to see those. So I'm gonna put it's actually called cleanscope.tools. So I'm gonna put a link in the description. Please take a look at it. Let me know what you think. Homeowners, this is mostly for like the contractors and subcontractors. Give me your thoughts, tell me what you think. Please put something in the description, in the comments, to let me know what you think. Or if there's something you would like to see me do different, or if you would like to see me change something on these videos. But this is Gerald with OVD. I'm out. Y'all be blessed. Look forward to speaking to you again. Take care now.